First of all, focus on the big cricketing action. BCCI has suspended Mumbai Ranji cricketer Hiken Shah. The player was found guilty of breaching BCCI's anti-corruption code. Hiken has been suspended for making a corrupt approach to Rajasthan Royals player Praveen Tambe. Now, Hiken was the cricketer, remember, who had tried to lure Rajasthan Royals spinner Praveen Tambe during this year's edition of the IPL. However, Tambe did not fall to the lure and reported the matter to the BCCI. And the BCCI has now suspended the tainted cricketer from playing all forms of cricket with immediate effect. Remember, this was the story that was first reported to you on India Today this morning. And now, a short while ago, BCCI has confirmed what India Today was reporting. BCCI President Jagmohan Dalmia in a statement said, and we quote, "The BCCI has zero tolerance for corruption in the game of cricket. I have referred the matter to the disciplinary committee to take further action." We're live with Shivani Gupta, my colleague who tracks, of course, all the action in the world of sports for us from the newsroom, and also Boria Mazumdar, consulting editor, sports. First of all, Shivani, we've just seen that Jagmohan Dalmia's statement. Any word, any reaction yet from Hiken Shah?
No, nothing on record yet, and it's unlikely that it's going to come out anytime soon as well, because such an allegation against you is going to almost put paid on your career. Of course, what the last we heard was that both Tambe and Hiken were actually away from the country on various cricketing assignments, and that is also why there's a delay in getting a reaction from him. But it's unlikely he's going to come out and say anything unless he wants to refute the charges, which is going to be extremely difficult in this case. This approach was actually revealed way back, before the IPL season, during the IPL season. So it's been a lot of time since then. The BCCI must have done its research, and it wouldn't have come out with an open statement unless they were sure of the action that they're taking in this case.
Boria, if we have heard these statements where all these BCCI, in fact, the senior officials, the top brass, they have been claiming that they want to clean the game. This seems to be a step towards that direction. But what is the immediate challenge that also you see her with still looms?
Yes, it is a step in the right direction, in the sense you've got to bring in transparency, accountability, and want to cleanse the game. So that's what the Dalmia Thakur dispensation said when they came to power in March, and that's what they've done, in the sense they've announced that they've suspended Hiken Shah. Now, it is upon Hiken to come and prove. Shivani just said that the BCCI has done his research. She's right. She's absolutely right. The BCCI has done due diligence, which is why they've suspended Hiken. Now the matter will be referred to the disciplinary committee. It is now upon Hiken to come and refute the charges and prove himself innocent, if he can. It will be very difficult for him. Make no mistake, what happens to his career, it's very difficult. He's a youngster. But if you see his career, he's a disgruntled man. I mean, he's in the past challenged his selection in the Bombay Ranji Trophy team, Mumbai Ranji Trophy team, saying he's a deserved player and he's been dropped unfairly. So here is a disgruntled cricketer who's clearly gone down the wrong route. But the question that you asked me in the last show, I think is very pertinent. That is Hiken alone, or was he operating on behalf of somebody? Is just a pawn. Perhaps, because Hiken Shah suddenly approaching Praveen Tambe cannot happen from nowhere. I mean, there has to be a bookie behind him. There has to be a consortium behind him. How do you nab that? How do you attack the root of the problem? That is the far more important challenge for the BCCI.
Okay, Rashesh Mandani also joins us now from Mumbai. Rashesh, what are sources telling you? Are there other players also who could be under, other players, other team members in other capacities who are also under the scanner for the current edition?
Look, the BCCI has come out with the name of Hiken Shah having made the corrupt approach on the basis of an independent investigation carried out by its own anti-corruption unit. And then the procedure is for the BCCI disciplinary committee to take over, summon the player, get his, sending him a show cause, give him an opportunity to give his side of the story. But if the anti-corruption unit of the BCCI has carried out its investigation and they deem fit to make it public that there was indeed a corrupt approach, there's obviously a larger linkage that they are looking at as well. It's something that they're not in a position to reveal right now. It's not something that they're willing to put on record. But there is a lot more information that anti-corruption unit, which in many ways works as an undercover agency. It's an agency which the officials of the anti-corruption anti-corruption officials do not speak to the media. They only communicate to the board president. But there's a link that they're looking at, and that would be further investigated. Like the previous IPL scandal of 2013 told us, it's always a lot murkier than it appears on the surface.
Okay, Rashesh, stay with us. I'm also joined by Mr. Kirti Azad, former cricketer who's also now a BJP leader. Mr. Azad, this ban on Hiken Shah from immediate effect, how do you see the way the anti-corruption unit seems to be operating in its efforts towards cleaning up the game?
The question is, why did it take them more than a year to really come to this decision? They should have taken it much earlier. Because we know that whenever you are involved with sports, discipline is the foremost thing that you have. And why is that taken more than a year is a big question.
But better late than never, at least, Mr. Azad?
Well, all I can say is just a tip of an iceberg. What about the other things that have been going on? You cannot just clean the BCCI and the corruption that is there by suspending one player. You have to do so many other things. I mean, there is also a verdict coming tomorrow regarding the two people who've been indicted with the fixing in the IPL.
That's right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Azad, for that reaction, of course, to the story that was first reported here. But Shivani, just for the benefit of viewers, take us quickly through what Hiken's career has looked so far like.
Well, he's a Mumbai Ranji player, and as Borer already mentioned that he's frustrated, perhaps not got the opportunities he feels he deserved, and we can obviously not speculate on what made him make such an approach. It doesn't really matter what your career looks like. We've heard names from all kinds and all stages of careers who have actually indulged in match fixing or an approach to match fixing. In his case, of course, this is going to be a huge blow to his career. Once you're under suspicion and once you're under a BCCI inquiry for a matter like this, I think he will be. He has been suspended, of course, provisionally till the BCCI disciplinary panel takes a call. But it seems the BCCI is quite confident about the charges against him. It's his word against Praveen Tambe's word. So it becomes very difficult in a case like this. We don't know whether there's any evidence in this regard. But going by past experiences, going by what has happened in the IPL spot fixing saga, the main case that started in 2013, and other approaches, the TV sting that brought to light certain under the table deals as well, it seems that his career is more or less over.
Okay, so a long shadow, of course, has been cast now over his career. Joining me also is Mr. Madan Lal, a former, of course, cricketer selector. Mr. Madan Lal, how do you look at this, the ban that has been put, of course, on Hiken Shah? Should we also believe that there would be conclusive evidence for the BCCI to have reached, of course, to this step?
I think so because the BCCI has taken the right decision, because Mr. Jagmat Armia, which I know that he always takes decisions. So I think the right thing is they have banned Hiken Shah, and the inquiry is going on with this Praveen Tambe. But it's a sad, because I always say that all the weaker players are get involved with all these things, Not the the player which was established or they are playing first class cricket. But I don't know what to say, because why they have to do all these things, nonsense thing,
So, but Hiken Shah would have been acting on somebody's behest, and here is a case where you have, as Shivani was pointing out, it's a case where you have Hiken Shah's word against a Praveen Tambe's word. What kind of, in fact, challenges lie ahead in trying to find that route as to whom was really Hiken Shah trying to act on behalf of? Yeah,
that's right. You are right, Bill. Absolutely, because there must be some bookie must be trying to rob Hiken Shah, and from Hiken Shah to Praveen Tambe. And they have to go to the right person, who's doing all these things, because Hiken Shah must have contacted someone, because might be the bookies or someone else, So that's why these things happen,
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Madan Lal, for having joined us. Boria, two quick reactions. A, Madan Lal saying that we increasingly see that players who are not established seem to be going down this way. Would you agree with that analysis? And Kirti Azad saying that the BCCI has taken much more time in coming up with this decision.
Two questions you've asked me, Madan Lal, absolutely right. I mean, weak players, because they are the soft targets. I mean, they are the soft targets. You can nab them easily, you can lure them easily. So obviously they are the soft targets. Hiken Shah being one whose career was not taking off. He replaced Wasim Jafar last December in the Mumbai Ranji Trophy team. So maybe he still had a career there, but he fell prey, and Shivani is right, his career might well be over. Second question, Kirti Azad, it's actually not taken them a year, it's taken them 3 months. I mean, March this came to light, so April, May and June, they've got to also do their due diligence. While we've criticized the BCCI for inaction on several counts, on this one at least, we have to say that they've acted fairly fast and fairly quickly and with a lot of prudence. So that's basically the answer. Hopefully, the cleansing of the game will really happen and the BCCI will continue to show intent.
Okay, if Rashesh Mandani is still with us and on the phone line, Rashesh, if you can hear me, you know, here is a guy who's also playing Ranji. Now, Ranji has a different kind of place in our hearts, especially amongst cricketing lovers. It has a different kind of position altogether. How is the Ranji community in a way reacting to this story?
Look, this is, of course, and it's a case study in many ways. Hiken Shah's story, he's someone who's battled through past more than 5 years playing Ranji cricket for Mumbai, trying to make it to the next level. Everyone aspires to come through for India. He's someone, and then, of course, there's the other shortcut to success, which is the IPL opportunity. That opportunity that Hiken Shah did not get as well. That explains the desperation as well. He came out publicly a few months ago saying that he deserved a Ranji place, and he was losing that as well. He was in and out of that team. That establishes that he was a disgruntled player. That's when you compare yourself with your fellow players, your peers, the others making it through, some of them successful in IPL, making a lot more money, and that's where perhaps the temptation may have come in. Now that the BCCI has named Hiken as having made the corrupt approach, one understands that that this is that there would be a possible linkage as well. But this is the case in modern times. This is a reality. A lot of these cricketers whose career do not pick up are susceptible to being lured away by such approaches, and then this whole linkage that is being used by bookies is to convince a player to lure in a fellow player, because those are obviously the people that a player would trust a lot more easily. These are the larger issues that the anti-corruption unit would need to look at and investigate as well. In this case, as much as the previous one in 2013, where the scandal broke out, and we were talking about how
Yes.
lesser players are easier to make public as far as the BCCI is concerned. That's a fair point as well. Is this all that there is to the story? Are there bigger fishes involved? Those are all matters of investigation, and we'll have to wait and see how the BCCI handles the whole case in future as well.
And Shivani, do we know as to when is the disciplinary committee meeting really, and are there any other options for Hiken in a way to sort of ask for this matter to be reviewed?
No, he will have to present his case before the disciplinary panel, and accordingly the final action on Hiken Shah will be taken. But Smita, I just wanted to drive one point when we talk rightly about taking this case to its logical conclusion, finding out just who is behind this approach. Obviously, Hiken Shah wasn't going to give the player money to fix games. It was going to come from somebody else. The BCCI does not really go into that depth. Even the anti-corruption unit maybe releases a circular about being careful about a certain bookie or certain bookie activities, but it's really the more of the job of the investigating teams, the police, etc., who usually look at bookie nexus and break bookies nexus.
Okay,
maybe Boria can elaborate.
Shivani, stay with us. I'm joined by former cricketer Chandu Bode. Maybe I could take your point of view to him. Mr. Bode, Shivani here mentions that as far as the BCCI is concerned, yes, they have cracked down on this player Hiken Shah, who they think was, of course, getting down the illegal way. But till the time the BCCI, and perhaps the investigative units will have to look at the bookie nexus. So, will this ensure that the game gets cleaned up by only cracking down upon the players unless the nexus itself is cracked down upon?
Well, frankly, if they found them guilty and if it is true, the action is taken by the board. Now it is up to the players to kind of plead their case, and how they are going to plead, I don't know. But then this is the board decision, which they found it, correct. Then it is good that some steps have been taken, and I'm happy this sort of thing should not come in the game. This will definitely otherwise spoil the great game's reputation.
Right.
Therefore, the action taken by the board, I think it is
Okay, and Mr. Bode, also before I let you go, you think that, in terms of as you said, that this is a welcome step by the board to clean up the game, really,
yes,
but
correct.
It's still going to be a very, very long way.
Yeah, but it is now up to them, the players, what steps they will take. It is up to them. They may go in appeal. I have no idea, but I am happy that the board has taken this step. This is a good step they have taken. This will certainly be a sort of a lesson to other cricketers.
Okay, thank you. Thanks much, Mr. Chandu Bode, for having joined us with your perspective on this. Boria, before, of course, in terms of, as Shivani mentioned, that this seems to be a case where it's Hiken Shah's word against Praveen Tambe's word. What other evidence might just the BCCI have to have reached upon this conclusion?
Oh, I'm sure Neeraj Kumar, the new head of the BCCI ACSU, has done due diligence on the matter. I mean, he's been the former Delhi police chief. He's now the head of ACSU. So the BCCI has conducted its research and done due diligence over the last 2 months. So they must have evidence against Hiken Shah, which is why they've indicted him. Having said that, Shivani is spot on. You know, the bigger nexus is the job of the investigative agency. The BCCI ACSU, 3 people. Neeraj Kumar and 2 others. I mean, how can 3 people go and nab bookie nexus? That's not their job. The BCCI will sort of, once these approaches are made, they will look into the cricketing part, ensure cricketers are not falling prey, and if they do, they'll take action. But as far as the bigger nexus is concerned, it is upon the law enforcement agencies to sort of try and look into those.
Okay, Mr. Atul Vasan also joins us now on the show here. Mr. Vasan, your reaction to this, you think it's a timely move by the BCCI, or Mr. Kirti Azad seemed to suggest that they have taken much longer time than was necessary?
I believe and I agree with Kirti Bhaiya also that, you know, they have taken a lot of time because the news has been doing the rounds for a few months now. And I wonder what was the delay for, because the system should kick in immediately. You can't indemnify against similar happenings in the future also. People will get greedy, players will be approached. But what you do about it is that what really matters. You know, we have seen in the past that how dragging the feet can spoil the image of the whole product as IPL and cricket as well. So I think once you get to know that something is amiss, the system should move on, give everybody a fair opportunity, and then immediately keep them aside, because that guy was playing with the Ranji Trophy team, was in the system for a long time after the first report came in.
Okay, so there seems to have been that time lapse between, of course, these reports surfacing and also the final, in a way, this action being taken by the BCCI, though the disciplinary panel will perhaps hear out Hiken Shah, who's currently out of the country playing county. Many thanks, all of you, Shivani Gupta, Rashesh, as well as Boria Mazumdar, Mr. Atul Vasan, for having joined us in this broadcast.